Hey guys, this is Sunlight Reptiles. This is basically my intro video. Uh, I'm getting back into reptiles, and I thought it'd be cool to start doing intros and setups and all that stuff to help everybody out that needs help doing things the proper way. What you're looking at right now is my chameleon cage. I'm just gonna go ahead and explain this one since I'm about to clean it, and explain to you like basic things and everything. Right now, I have two in there. I have Taz. And the girl's not named yet, but they're only about 4 months, maybe a little less. I didn't get the exact thing when I bought them. The boy's in the back, and the girl's right in the front. You can see the boy. So I mean, mine is a 2x2x4, and I have a golden ficus tree in there. A little hard to find actually from where I'm around for some reason. Nobody really got one besides this one house that was being foreclosed on, so they sold it to us for cheap. Got water dish down there. This tree does need to be watered regularly, but I just have my dripper actually out at the moment, right here. But I tend to use that a lot, but I spray them down as well quite a bit. I tend to say that everybody that has a chameleon should have mostly natural in there. I mean, I have everything's natural besides probably this wood, as you see, the big wood, which they almost barely use for some reason. I just have it in there kind of as like a look and supports everything else. The vines, and they just came with the cage because my local reptile place, Herp's Hobby Shop, shout out to them, they're awesome. Hooks me up a lot. And I have fake fluker vines, which are okay. I mean, I just had them because my ball down here had them, but I went to the dollar store and just bought some fake plants, and she doesn't really need the vines, so I just took them out and gave them to them for more foliage so they could have a little bit better of a hide. It's pretty covered if you haven't seen it already, though. And I have the mercury light, which is basically like a light with UVB and heat, so that helps as well. One thing I suggest if you are getting not a cricket, sorry, that sound is bothering me. If you are getting chameleons, not only are they not for beginners, but you have to be financially aware of what's about to go down because, I mean, one is going to eat you out of house and home, and if you have two, you're going to go through about 100 crickets in 3-4 days sometimes. These guys eat like monsters, and they're growing quite big, and they're going to be my breeders pretty soon. So I'm happy about that. And Repticon's coming up in one day, which is awesome. So yeah, this is my chameleon cage. I have a Phoctos in the back actually. So yeah, and what I do is I have a cricket tube with a wire, hobby wire that you can buy cheap at like dollar store, and I just hold it there because my chameleons hate to cup feed and they hate to just watch them get on the ground. So they love to hunt them arboreal. So I just keep them on the side, and all the crickets climb up to the light. And by the time they get to halfway, they're dead because these guys will munch them up immediately. So yeah, and the way I dust them is I wanted to share this because some people cup them or just dust their regular calcium on there, which you don't want to do because if you dust them too much, they're not wanted. So what I tend to do is I went to the dollar store and bought a salt shaker, as you see, and I put calcium in there, and every time I get a tube, I take the one side that has the lid on it, and I hold that down, and I take about 3 shakes in there, cover all of the crickets that are in the tube, and then I tip it upside down for a second. Don't concuss them or anything, so they can still crawl out, but I cover them, and then they get out, and they're all pretty much calcium dusted to the best. I have a fogger as well, and my dripper goes up there too. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. You don't want to spend as much money as some people think buying all the main brands. Try to go for the cheapest stuff but the most healthiest, and make sure you don't go for like anything bad for them. Like, the reason I say all real stuff is because they tend to eat leaves, and sometimes they'll try to eat fake ones, and they'll get um, problems, like impactions in their stomach and stuff like that. But they're also not to handle. Just want to point that out. And you do want to keep a good care on them. You don't want to make their cage all dirty. But so far, that's really all I have to say about them. I'm a pretty new beginner as well, kind of. I mean, I've had them for about 3 months now. But I mean, I did research and stuff beforehand. That's what you want to do. And it's a learning experience, to be honest. It really is. They're probably the most learning reptiles I've ever had, and I've had a ton. So that's basically what I gotta say. Also, don't be like me. I'm stupid. This isn't a. I was with snakes and geckos and all that fun stuff, so I'm used to having been able to maybe poke a hole in the top once in a while to put some stuff in. With these guys, the crickets do climb out, so I've had to do white trash connections of duct tape on 3 of the holes that I made, little tiny ones for my dripper. And I used to have a mister, but moved it to a different reptile. Please tell me if I'm doing anything wrong. I hope I'm not, but I might be doing 1 or 2 things. And before I get like exploded, if I do get views, wink wink, like this, subscribe. But there are 2 chameleons in here, and I know that one is a boy, one is a girl, and sometimes that is not the best thing to do, but they really don't fight. They have their little ups and downs, and I do see them nip at each other once or twice, but they're fine, really. Like, they live right next to each other, like right now, and I don't know, they're not fighting at all. But I know that you do have to feed them more than crickets, but right now, since they're such a young age and they only like to hunt, a lot of the things that I try to feed them, they don't eat. So I have to feed them to other things. Like mealworms and superworms, I have tons. I mean, I breed. So it's like I have to feed them to everything else because I thought these guys are going to munch them down, but they really don't care about them. They just care about crickets. So I'm going to start buying praying mantis soon. Dubious climb, and silkworms. So I'm going to start getting those once they get a little bigger. But the boy's quite big now, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to start doing that. And yeah, hope you guys tend to enjoy having chameleons if you do get some. And like, rate, and subscribe. I don't think there's a rate, so ignore me. I'm stupid. But yeah, that's all I got to say. Good luck with your reptiles and have fun, guys. Bye.